Hello everyone, this is Savita Acharya from Canara Engineering College. In this video lecture, we will look at a few examples on Verilog test benches. The full adder design is ready here. So we have the block diagram of the full adder which comprises of 3 inputs and 2 outputs. The truth table which depicts the behavior of the full adder, and the Verilog code that is using the assign statement. We have realized the full adder using data flow modeling. So next we will proceed to write the test bench for this full adder. So the test bench is module, let me take full adder underscore TB as the name of the module, and empty parenthesis because there are no ports. The corresponding signals are declared here. So there are 3 inputs for a full adder, that's why I have taken X, Y, Z as the inputs, which I have declared as register as per the port connection rules, and 2 outputs, that is sum and carry, I have declared as wire. Here deliberately I have taken different names for the signals. Next is the instantiation of the design block. So that is done by full adder, name of the module, followed by the instance label, and here note that it should be in order. First 2 should be the input bits, and third one is the carry, and next one is sum, which will be mapped to S of the module here, and the last one is carry. So next we will proceed to write the or apply the stimulus inside the begin construct, that is inside the initial construct enclosed between begin and end. So now you have to apply the stimulus as per given in the truth table. So this is a 3 input circuit. So with the 3 inputs we can have maximum 2 power 3 combinations, that is 8 combinations you can give for the input. So your test vector should consist of 8 combinations. Okay, so we will proceed to do that right now. So I have applied the test vector as per in the truth table with the for every 5 time units. So initially at time t equal to 0, x, y, z are 0, 0, 0. Hash 5 means after 5 time units it will be 0, 0, 1, then 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and so on till 1, 1, 1. Okay, so this is the test bench for the full adder. Observe the waveform of the full adder. So in the stimulus block or the test bench program, we have we have applied new input combination for every 5 time units. So initially for time t equal to 0, x, y, z are 0, 0, 0, sum is 0, carry is 0. And after 5 time units, 0, 0, 1. So sum is 1 and carry is 0 here. Another 5 means at 10 input is 0, 1, 0. Again for that combination also sum is 1 and carry is 0. Next again after 5 time units, that will be at 15, 5, 10, 15, 0, 1, 1. For 0, 1, 1, 2 bits are 1, so sum is 0 and carry happens to be 1. Likewise at 20, 1, 0, 0, sum is 1 and carry is 0. At 25, 1, 0, 1. 1 plus 1, sum is 0, which results in a carry. Similarly 1, 1, 0 also, sum is 0 and carry is 1. And finally after another 5 time units, that will be at 35 time units, all the bits will become 1 1 1. For that, sum and carry both are 1 1 1. So after that, I have not changed the test vector, so it will retain the same final value till the run length. Let's take an example of a 2 to 4 decoder. So the 2 to 4 decoder, let me first draw the block diagram. So I'll give some meaningful name to the module, it is decoder 2 to 4. Now this 2 to 4 decoder has got 2 inputs and 4 outputs. So you can do it the conventional way that we have been doing so far, that is take 2 inputs A and B and 4 outputs, say Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, something like that, and proceed. But right now I would like to take vectors and show you. Okay, so we can write in the block diagram the vectors like this, that is, let me give x as input. Now there are 2 inputs, so I can write it as a single line x give with the name x, and over that arrow I need to put a slash, and above that I write 2, meaning that this input width is 2. Similarly, the output I will take it as y, and over the arrow I will write it as 4, meaning there are 4 lines of y, that is y3, y2, y1 and y0, and x will be x1 and x0. The truth table of the 2 to 4 decoder looks like this, that is when input x1, so here x1 is the most significant bit and x of 0 will be the least significant bit. So when x1 and x0 are 0 0, only one of the output lines will be active, and that will be y of 0. Okay, this is a decoder, so depending on the input code, one of the lines will be active. So for 0 1, y of 1 will be active. For 1 0, y of 2 will be active, and for 1 1, y of 3 will be active. So by now the module definition would be familiar to you. So module definition is module decoder 2 to 4 x comma y. So this has got only one input signal x and one output signal y. But this input signal x is 2-bit wide, that is why I have declared it as an vector 1 down to 0, and output signal y is a 4-bit signal, so I have declared it as 3 down to 0 y. Okay, so when you write such a notation, the first number corresponds to the most significant bit index, and the next number corresponds to the least significant index. So that's why here also, so y of 3 will be the most significant bit and y of 0 will be the least significant bit. So from the truth table, I can write the expressions for the output signals. Y of 0 is active only for this combination, that is x1 bar and x0 bar. Y of 1 for x1 bar x0. Y of 2 for x1 x0 bar, and y of 3 for x1 x0. Okay, so these expressions I will write in Verilog for realizing this decoder function. So this is the program for the 2 to 4 decoder using these expressions. So I have just written in Verilog syntax. Y of 0 is not of x of 1 and not of x of 0, and similarly y1, y2 and y3. Okay, this forms the program for realizing 2 to 4 decoder. Next we will write the stimulus block or the test bench program for the same. So the test bench program looks like this. So I have had the module decoder 224 underscore TB for the module name of the test bench, and the input is 2-bit signal, right? So that should be declared as register. So the 2-bit signal I have taken name as P, and output is 4-bit signal, so that should be declared as wire. So I have taken wire some signal Q as a 4-bit signal. So the instantiation line, you should be very careful. The name of the module is decoder DEC24 in caps, uppercase. So the same thing should be written here. Instance label can be any valid identifier name. Now the first parameter here is X, which is a 2-bit signal. So here also the 2-bit signal should be mapped here, P. And second parameter is Y, that is 4-bit signal. So Q, which you have declared as 4-bit wire, is to be written next. So the initial block is written here. The 2-bit signal is to be applied values 00, 01, 10 and 11. So here I have written slightly different. So P is the input signal. So at time t equal to 0, I will give 0, 0. So for that I have taken the base as decimal. So when you are representing the value in decimal for a constant, then the letter should be D. The first meaning of the first element here always is number of bits. So for representing 2-bit signal, the number of bits is 2. Okay, that is fixed. Now D, I will be representing the value in decimal, that's why I have taken as D, and the value is 0. And after 10 time units, I am making 2 tick D 1. So the next value of input X is 1, that is 0, 1 corresponds to decimal 1. Again after 10 time units, I am making it 2, that is 1, 0 corresponds to decimal 2. Finally, again after 10 time units, I am making it 3, that is 1, 1 and end. The result after simulation of the 2 to 4 decoder is displayed here. The signal names that we have given in the test bench program are P and Q. P is a 2-bit signal and Q is a 4-bit signal. So here I have displayed the values in binary only. So when you have a group of signals represented by a signal name, we can draw the waveforms like this. Instead of writing the waveforms of the single bits, we can write 2 parallel lines. And whenever we are changing the values of the input at the transition point, we just put a vertical line. So this indicates that the values are changing from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. So here in the stimulus block I have given at time t equal to 0, the input P is 0, 0. So for that the decoder output will be 0, 0, 0, 1. So it is 1. Next at hash 10, that is after 10 time units, I have changed the input to 0, 1. So that time the output y of 1 will be q of 1 will be 1. So it is 0, 0, 1, 0. It is nothing but 1, 0. And after 10 time units, again I am changing the input to 1, 0. So that time y of 2 will be active. So y of 2 means 0, 1, 0, 0. So it is 1, 0, 0 displayed here. And again after another 10 time units, the input is changed to 1, 1. And for this value of the input, the decoded output is y of 3 will be active, that is 1, 0, 0, 0. So this is the waveform of the 2 to 4 decoder as per the test bench that we have written. We look at one more circuit, that is 1-bit comparator. So a 1-bit comparator is a circuit which compares 2 bits. That is, it compares 2 numbers of 1 bit each. So let me take the name of the block as COMP. Now it will have two inputs of 1 bit each. So let me take the numbers as A and B. A and B are two numbers of 1 bit each. So similarly, 2-bit comparator means it will compare two numbers. Each number is 2 bit each. Likewise, 4-bit comparator and so on. So the output of the comparator will be 3. That is, it will give the decision on these 3 lines. That is, either A is greater than B, I will take the signal name as GT, or or the two numbers are equal, or A is less than B. Okay. So this is the block diagram of the 1-bit comparator. The truth table of the comparator will be like this. That is, the number A can be 0 and B also can be 0, or A can be 0 and B can be 1. A can be 1 while B is 0, and both can be 1 1. So when A and B are 0 0, the signal equal will be active and other two signals will be 0. And when A is 0 and B is 1, that means A is less than B. The other two signals are 0. When A is 1 and B is 0, meaning A is greater than B. And when A and B are 1 1, again they are equal. The other two signals will be 0. From the truth table, we can write the expressions for the 1-bit comparator. So GT or greater than is 1 only for the combination A B bar. Okay, and equal is 1 for two combinations, that is A bar, B bar and A B. So equal is A bar, B bar plus AB. So this is nothing but an XNOR operation. And lastly, less than is 1 for only one combination, that is A bar B. So this is the expression for the less than signal. So I have defined the module COMP. Remember, the name you have given in the block diagram should be compatible with what you have given here. Similarly, the truth table. So signals also should be same. So A, B, GT, EQ and LT are the port list. Input is A and B and output is GT, EQ and LT. Okay. Now describe the comparator using these three expressions in Verilog. So this is very straightforward, writing the expressions in Verilog. So GT is A and not of B, LT is not of A and B, and EQ is A XOR B. So the logic operator is A XOR B and not of that. Next we will proceed to write the stimulus block. So I have defined the test bench module here. So COMP underscore TB. The two inputs I have declared as register and the three outputs I have declared as wire. So stimulus I have given in the initial block. Now note here there is a slight difference from what I have written earlier. So here initially A and B I will take as 0 0 to begin with. Okay, and then after 10 time units I will make A and B as 0 1. But if you notice here I have just given a #10 B as 1B1. So I have not given any condition for A. So what happens is the A will retain its previous value. So right now what I want is A0 B1. So B was 0, only change that I need here is B should be going from 0 to 1. A is 0 only. So I have not given any value to A such that it retains the previous value. For the next third row of the truth table, A should be 1 and B should be 0. So initially it was A0, B1. So both have a transition. So that's why for the next line #10 I have made A1 and B0. Finally, the last row of the truth table is A1 and B1. So here what I have done is previously it was 1, so now also it will be 1. So again I have not given any value for A here in the last line. Only B, which was 0, should be made as 1. So #10 B is 1. Okay. So here what happens is whatever previous value of the signal will be retained. You must have noticed this in the simulation waveform. If you don't give anything in the time, as long as the run length is displayed, it will retain its previous value. Now let us observe the 1-bit comparator waveform obtained after the simulation of the test bench that we have written in the previous slide. So here the two numbers at t equal to 0, the two numbers we have given as 0, 0. For this only the equal output of the comparator should be 1 and other two outputs, that is less than and greater than, are 0. When A is 0, that is our #10 we have given, #10 means 0 plus 10 after 10 time unit. So at 10 time unit we have made A is 0 and B is 1. Okay. So for this A is 0, B is 1. For this A less than B, this output is 1 and other two outputs are 0. Again after 10 time units we have made A1 and B0, for which A greater than B, greater than signal should be high and other two are 0. And finally #10, that is 20 plus 10, at 30 we have made A and B both 1, 1, for which again the equal signal will be high and other two will be low. Okay. This is how you should be analyzing the waveforms. So whatever you have given in the test bench, the time sequence, whatever you have given, that will be reflected in the waveform and you should be able to analyze that and make sense out of it. We have seen how to write test benches for a number of combinational circuits in the last 3 videos. So by now I hope you must be comfortable in writing test benches at least for combinational circuits. Thank you.